Hello and welcome to the Becoming Your Highest Self podcast. I'm your host, Macy Renee, and we are going on a journey together, my friend. If you've been looking for a podcast geared towards your growth, self-awareness, navigating your brain's daily mind drama, and deep inner work to become your highest and best self, you are in the perfect place. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back to Becoming Your Highest Self podcast. Yay! I'm so happy you're here, and I love whenever you guys reach out to me and tell me that you're loving the episodes, that you're enjoying the podcast. I would love to take this moment really quick to ask if you listen to the podcast weekly or every time you think about it and you love it and you haven't left a written review or, put some stars on there. I know on iTunes, the reviews help me stay ranked so that other people can find me more easily. And I just love going through and reading what you guys write about the podcast. It means so much to me. So if you would be willing, I would absolutely love if you would do that. It means so much. So this week, I'm so excited. This coming week, I am having my Inner Mastery ladies over to my home. And, I think I've told you guys, but last year I launched my very first group coaching program, which was Inner Mastery. It's a 12-week program. It really targets that deep inner healing work that completely changed my life. Whenever I had my official mental breakdown and was like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want. I don't know up from down, left from right. Help me. I'm spinning out of control. When I reached that point in my life where I just really didn't know who I was and I felt so disconnected from myself and I was people pleasing for everybody else and meeting the needs for everybody else, I turned inward and began doing some deep inner healing and reading all of the books and listening to the podcast and meditating and doing all of what felt like such hard work at the time because it just wasn't me. It was a total different version of myself trying to work on healing myself. And after I went through that journey, it really came down to 12 things that completely changed my perspective, changed my mind, changed my life. And I put those 12 topics into a program, and that program is Inner Mastery. And so I had about last year 20-something women go through it between 3 different rounds. I launched it 3 different times. I think this year I'm going to launch it twice for sure. The next round is like mid-February. So if you're interested in that, you can find out more information on my website, macyrenee.com. But it is such a beautiful program. Like, I watch women transform in the biggest way in this program when they come to the calls and they're eager and excited to do the work and to shift and grow and evolve and change and learn. It's just the biggest transformation. And some of these women that have been in this group, I've never met in person. So I thought it would be so fun to have them over to my home and start the year with building vision boards. And that is actually today's topic today, because I won't be able to have all of you guys that are listening over to my home, but I think that vision boards, especially at the beginning of the year, are super important and so beneficial in becoming your highest self and really getting clear on what it is that you desire in a fun, exciting, and tangible way. So next Saturday, I have several women that, attended Inner Mastery, I guess you would say. It was an online program via Zoom, and they're coming over. We're going to have cocktails and charcuterie boards, and I'm going to cook a fancy dinner, and we're just going to laugh and have girls' time and build each other up and share our visions with one another and just encourage each other to, lift each other up. I mean, I am so excited for this. So today might not be the longest of episodes, but I really want to teach you a little bit about vision and why we visualize and how you do that, and teach you how to make your own vision board if it's not something that you've ever done before. So I learned about vision boards probably around 5.5 years ago, and it was from my relationship marketing company that I was in. And they taught that basically you need to be as clear as you possibly can with your visions. And you should be dreaming really big. You should be having vision so clear that it feels as if you've already achieved it way before you have. And that is the key. So at the time when I was in this relationship marketing company, life was really, really hard. Like there was so much family stuff going on in my personal life and so many hard things that we were battling behind closed doors. And one of the things that my youngest sister wanted was a car. She wanted to go to college. And I was in this relationship marketing company where when you hit the third level of the business, $12,500 in sales, you earned a free Lexus car bonus, which meant that you go to the dealership, you send in all the paperwork, and when you're hitting that volume of $12,500 every month, they pay for you to drive a Lexus for free. So I set my eyes on the prize. I knew how badly my sister wanted to go to college. She didn't have a car, and I wanted that Lexus more than anything, not only because it's a Lexus and who doesn't want that at 20, I think I was like 22 years old, but also I wanted my sister to be able to achieve her dreams and to get out of the really difficult situation that we were in. And there wasn't like a family member, I don't have any like rich family members that can say, hey, here's 15,000, go get yourself a car, kid. It was like not that easy. So I didn't have one family member that could just say, oh, I'll just front all the money and get her in a car. It was going to be a team effort. And so I put my head down and really worked on visualizing having that Lexus car. It was like nobody was going to keep me from reaching that goal. It was so important to me. So I'm going to teach you some of the things that I did because this is everything. And this is going to translate to anything that you want in life, anything that you would put on your dream board, anything, okay? If you see it, if you desire it, if you want it, if you'd like to have it, what I'm about to tell you is going to be very, very important for you to drill home inside your mind, okay? First, you have to have a vision for it. I mean, if you do not have a vision for the things that you desire in life, that is going to be the first piece of work you're going to need to do. A lot of us do have desires. It's whenever we feel discouraged about getting them that we talk ourselves out of it. It's when we worry so much about the how am I going to get it, that we talk ourselves out of it. And so what I come across sometimes are clients that can't even dream. They don't allow themselves to dream because their brain is always setting them up for failure. So like, let's say they want a new home, but they are $200,000 in debt. They're living in, a 1,000 square foot apartment or home or whatever it is. And they desire a new home, but they don't see how they're ever going to get out of debt. They don't see how their life or circumstances are ever going to change. A lot of times it's very hard for them to dream. So that's another piece that we work on in Inner Mastery is really getting clear with our vision. And we do it very early on in the program. I think it's the first or second module because I need my clients to be able to understand how to dream and create a vision for themselves so that they can become their highest self that achieves that vision. So first step is figure out what it is you desire. This does not have to be material things. Now, if you want some material things, if you want a new boat, if you want a new car, if you want a different home, if you want to travel more, if you want to go on 6 vacations a year instead of 1 vacation every 3 years, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you desire in your life that feels very far-fetched now? There is no dream too big. If you can dream it, you can do it, but you have to believe in that. If I can dream it, I can do it, okay? So get very clear on what it is that you want. So going back to the Lexus example, I wanted that Lexus. I, every single night, would get on cargurus.com and I would search the Lexus model that I wanted, and I would look at the different cars. I would look at the dash. I would compare the features. Something that I really wanted, which was not in my price range, was both the heated seats and the air-conditioned seats. I was like, ooh, butt coolers. I really want those. But it drove up the price of the car on Car Gurus, usually like another $4, $5, $6,000. So what I started doing was believing that the car that I found when it was time for me to pick out the car, because remember, I hadn't earned it it yet. So I started this, it's important to know too, like I started this process of deeply visualizing and implementing this 6 months before I actually earned it. But for those 6 months, I treated my life as if I had already earned it. So instead of being like, if I get my Lexus, it's going to be this and this. I would say when I get to pick up my Lexus, because I earned it through my company, it's going to be white. It's going to have a light creamy tan leather interior with a black trim. It's going to have heated seats and air conditioned seats. It's going to have blah, 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 blah. And you just keep going, right? And so you really get clear on the vision. And so to solidify that vision, I was getting on Car Gurus and picking out the exact car that I would want when it would be time for me to get my own. I would also do things like if I was shopping in the mall and I found a little like not visor, but like the rear view mirror, the little cute decorations that can hang from it. I found one at Altered State that said, "Be blessed," or something like that. And I bought it way before I had the car, and I didn't put it in my Honda. I bought that and I said, when I get my Lexus, this is going to be the first thing that hangs from my rear view mirror. And I'm so excited to be able to use it in 6 months. Another thing is I had a very clear date for when I wanted to achieve the Lexus. So it was the end of April 2016. So I don't know, I think is there 30 days in April? So April 30th, 2016 is when I wanted to reach it. Sorry if I'm like coughing in your ear. I have a little bit of sinusy stuff going on. But so I had the date. I bought a little charm that made me excited that I was going to use in the Lexus. And I was looking up almost on a nightly basis what kind of Lexus I was going to buy, what kind of interior was in it, what buttons were on it. I was very, very specific about my vision. And this is something that's very crucial. Be very specific. Don't just say, I want 3 vacations in the year of 2020. Where do you want those 3 vacations to be? Is one of them Disney World? Is one of them California? Is another one out of the country? And if it is out of the country, what country? And if you, like, once you get to that point, if it's, let's just say Florida, okay, where in Florida? Okay, Sarasota, okay? You're going to be in Sarasota. What Airbnb or hotel do you think you're going to stay at in Sarasota? And you need to look that up. You need to know the name of the hotel, of the Airbnb, save it to your favorites, whatever it is, know the cost of it, write all of that down, put all of that on your vision board. You want to feel as if you want to plan it as if it's already been done. That's the way that energy works, okay? Plan it as if it's already been done. So the next step when I was getting my Lexus is I imagined what I wanted to wear. I went to the mall and I picked out an outfit and I closed my eyes and I was like, oh my gosh, when I get my Lexus, I'm going to be wearing this outfit and I'm not going to wear it until I'm picking it up on the car lot. So I bought the outfit and I hung it in my closet. Fast forward these 6 months, I literally earn my Lexus in the most miraculous way. It's not a joke when people say that energy is everything. When your energy is clear and it matches your desires and your effort, it is a magnet to everything you want. I joked around the other day on my Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, if not, it's Macie, Macie, Renee, Renae _ And I joked around that something I play around with is getting a front row parking spot almost anywhere I go, whether it's the mall or the grocery. And it's not because I'm too lazy to walk. It's just because I love playing around with the universe supporting my visions and my goals. So I was doing this thing where I got into Kroger and it was super cold. So I don't always do this. Sometimes I will just park far away. It doesn't matter that much to me, but I do love playing around with it. And that day it was cold and I honestly didn't want to walk a long way because I do not like the cold. So as I was driving, I started saying to myself, I'm going to get a front row parking spot today. I can get it with ease. It's not going to be a big deal. I know I'm supported and that I'm going to get a front row parking spot. And one opened up, which was it was actually the second spot. but a car was in front of me, so they got it. And instead of sweating it and being like, that was mine, I was just like, it's okay. There's going to be a front row parking spot for me. I went down the aisle. I looked a few aisles ahead. There was nothing open. And as I was looking for another thing to be, like another spot to be open, there were several customers and pedestrians crossing, Kroger to get to their car and put away their groceries. So I waved them on and said, come on, go ahead. And then as the last person walked before my car, I peek over and there's a front row parking spot that I got parked at or that I was able to park at. It was so cool. And then the rest of the day I went to Louisville and I went shopping at like Home Goods and TJ Maxx and a bunch of other places. And I kid you not that every single space was either a front row spot or no more than a fourth row spot. And I was just always like, I'm going to get an up close spot. I'm supported in that. I'm visualizing that. It's going to feel really good when I get to park up close. And I just played around with it, and it works with a bunch of different things. So I'm actually going to be teaching a course on this. I know I say that every single podcast just about that I'm going to be teaching a manifestation and energy course, but I will be. So stay tuned for that if you want to learn more about this. But on April 30th, 2016, I hit the Lexus car bonus. And I drove 8 hours to South Carolina because the car that I visualized, the one with air-conditioned seats, that would have cost me $6,000 more to buy in Louisville and all of the nearby states, I got for like $5,000 less by driving 8 hours. And it had everything that I wanted, everything that I visualized. It was white. It had the interior that I wanted. It could not have been more perfect. I wore the outfit that I always wanted to wear. I drove home. I put my little Be Blessed cross in it. And here's what happened. When I earned it, I wasn't excited. Like I hit the rank and my upline called me and said, "Are you so excited? This is what you've been working for 6 months." And I felt like something was wrong with me because I wasn't excited. Like I was just kind of like numb. And I didn't understand that. And so when I worked with my life coach a few weeks later, I think, no, it was several months later because I didn't start working with her until October of 2016. So, and I had earned the Lexus in April of 2016. So when I started working with her, somehow this topic came up and I said, why is it that when I earned my Lexus, I wasn't excited? I was just kind of like, big whoop, big deal. Not that I wasn't grateful for it, but it felt nothing like I thought it would, because for those 6 months I had, just visualized it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so amazing when it happens. I can't wait. And then it happened and I was just kind of like, meh, meh, meh. And she said, Macy, you practiced this vision for so long that your brain didn't know for the last 6 months that it wasn't real. And that's the thing about our brain. Your brain, literally, look up any research about the brain. Your brain does not know the difference between what is real and what is imaginary. A quick example of this, think of when you have a bad dream and you wake up and you're relieved because it was just a dream and it felt completely real. Your brain does not know the difference between what is real and what is imaginary. So when you start training your brain to see the vision in your mind and you're acting as if you already have it in your mind, you're like, this is the clothing that I'm going to wear when I get it. This is the little car charm I'm going to put in my car when I get it. This is the color that it's going to be. It's tan. And instead of getting in my Honda and being like, oh my God, I don't like my Honda, black leather, black. I actually loved my Honda. I'm just giving a silly example. But instead of getting in my car and having no gratitude for it, I would get in my car and I would be like, oh my gosh, when this is my tan leather interior, when it has air conditioned seats, because I'm sticking to my leather right now, oh my gosh, that's going to feel amazing. And I trained my brain as if I was already in the Lexus. It was almost like I was never in the Honda. In my mind, I was already in the Lexus. And when you align your actions with your vision, things will happen in the most transformational, absurd, doesn't make any sense whatsoever way. And so here comes this Lexus on the day that I visualized, when literally just 6 hours before hitting that rank, it looked impossible. Like The average person on the outside looking in would be like, there's no way she's ever going to hit this. It's impossible. Everything is falling apart. And I just held the faith that it was going to happen and that what I had envisioned was going to come into place exactly how I imagined, and it did. And it was a beautiful thing. But like my coach said, you tricked your brain. Your brain has believed it was yours for 6 months. So now that you've earned it, it's like, this is no big deal. I've had this for 6 months. And I was like, oh, that makes total sense. And she's like, she goes, that's what helped you earn it, is the fact that you believed you had it way before you did. So when the women come on the 11th, we're going to be working on dream boards. And what I encourage is that you get on Pinterest, get excited. What do you want your house to look like in the future? What do you want your bedroom to look like? What do you want? Like, what makes you excited? Is there certain recipes that you want to cook, or what would it symbolize if you cut out some different martini drinks, right? Is it that you want to learn something? I think on a previous dream board of mine, I had like a cooking class on there because I wanted to take a cooking class. And you just have to get like very involved in your vision and very clear on what you're wanting. So if it's a vacation, where is it going to be? What is it going to look like? What do you imagine? Where are you going to stay? How many bedrooms, will the hotel have? Are your kids going to be with you? Is it just you and your husband, or you and your significant other? What is it? And get very clear on that. And the reason that we do a vision board is because you take all of these different things that you desire. And like I said, they don't have to be materialistic. This could be, let's just say you wanted to become your highest self, right? And you're listening to this podcast and you've heard me talk about inner mastery, or the Becoming Her Mastermind, where you get access to me for a lifetime after paying the payments. If that was something that you desired, being mentored by a coach, you could cut out the emblem that you take from my website or whatever and put that on your dream board, and know that you're working towards becoming the person that gets to sign up and do the program. So it doesn't have to be just material things like get a new house, get a new car, get a boat, all of that. It could be all about you becoming a better person. You could cut out a stack of books, from Google, and know that your intention is to read a book a month or 6 books this year. So just get very clear on who you want to become and what your life looks like. And when I'm doing a vision board, I either like to have my vision board represent a year's time, or 5 years' time. And to be completely honest, usually my vision board represents about a year's time. What do I want to achieve within the year? But I also sometimes do it for, in the next 5 years, this is what I desire, this is what I want. And the thing about time and the universe and energy and being aligned is that sometimes the very things that you're dreaming about for, and you're thinking 5 years from now, I want to have this. When you have a vision so clear, it can speed up that process. So something that you thought you'd have in 5 years, you end up having in 2, and you will look back and be like, I have no idea how this happened. I have no idea how I achieved this. This was quote unquote impossible. I don't even see how this happened. And yet here we are. And again, it's because your brain doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is imaginary. And all you have to do is get in alignment with your vision and your action steps, and boom, 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 you will have everything that you desire, sometimes in ways you never thought possible. So I hope that this episode helps you. I hope that you will visualize and make a dream board. It's so fun this time of year. If you're not going to make a dream board, write a 5-year vision statement to yourself. That is where you are writing to yourself as if it already happened. So for me, it would be like, Macy, it's the year, let's see, we're in 2020? It's the year 2025. You have made $4 million as a life coach. You are pulling into your driveway lined in trees on both sides, circular driveway, beautiful fountain. You walk up to the double doors and enter your home. It has marble kitchen countertops, and the birds are chirping, and your windows are open, and maybe I have kids then, I don't know, kids are making cookies. So you are talking to yourself as if you already have what you desire, and you get as clear as you possibly can. Now, I'm a big dreamer, so my vision can be super clear. And just a fun fact I will tell you, if let's just pretend if I won the lottery tomorrow, I would know who was going to be the builder of my home, and I would have every picture on Pinterest ready for them to take to the architect, and I would know exactly what I wanted in a home. I would know the square footage, I would know the color of the windows, I would know the fixtures, I would know the countertops, the flooring colors, the wall colors. I would know all of that. I visualize so deeply and so specifically that when that time comes, I will know what I want. And I've even considered printing all of the pictures that I want in my future home, because my big dream and long term, whether it's 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, is to build my dream home from the ground up. And one of the things I've debated doing is taking a binder and printing out all the pictures of my dream spaces off of Pinterest, cutting them out, and then labeling what it is that I love about that space, and having it in this huge binder so that when that time comes where I get to say, this is what I want built, I can just hand the binder to the architect and say, this is what I want, this is what I envision. That's how specifically I dream. Do you have to be that way right away? No, but this is hopefully just to give you, excuse me, some clarity on building that vision and becoming that person that is able to get that vision. And as you continue to do your personal development work, reading books, listening to podcasts like this, working with a coach, doing whatever it is that you're doing to become a better person, diving in and doing the deep inner work, talking to a counselor, whatever it is to become your best self, as you have these visions for your life, you will see that you are a magnet attracting more and more of what you want and repelling more and more of what you don't. So I hope that this episode helps you. If you have any questions, reach out to me on social media. Again, if you are loving this podcast, please write me a written review. Leave me some stars if you can. I love you and I am so grateful for you. I hope that you have an amazing 2020, that you've had an amazing start to 2020, and I am rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. All right. I love you guys. Bye-bye.